10 years ago, developers were rockstars. Companies competed for talent. Nearshoring was accelerated. If you knew how to build solid web services, the market needed you more than you needed it. Then came mobile, then the pandemic, then the correction, and now artificial intelligence. At every stage, something shifted. What was paid for? What was valued? What it meant to be a great engineer. But something deeper shifted too: the perception of value itself. In this episode, we explore how market cycles reshape the craft and which parts of value survive when the context keeps changing. Because scaling doesn't just depend on technology, it depends on understanding the moment you're in. Welcome to the Scaling Dilemma. So today we're having a very special guest. This guy has been around since the very beginning, right? He's the manager, the engineer manager at Magma, right? Carlos or Cone, right?
Right. Yeah, that's right.
What do you
I'm
like?
one of the engineer manager.
Okay.
We're free.
Yeah, but is are you like with the one with the most seniority? Speaking about years or not?
Yeah, I think so.
Right?
Yeah.
You're being here since the very beginning. I was thinking about that. So let's go into the topic of today's episode. This this um this episode is about what happened and the different waves of technology and whatever and what you've seen when clients scale at Magma. Let's go back about 10 years when nearshoring started accelerating and demand felt endless. Latin American talent was rising in global markets. Developers were scarce. The power dynamic favored talent. So the first thing I want you to give me like your very own point of view. Like, do you remember the market during the early nearshoring boom?
At the time, I was working in a small company.
Uh huh.
It was called Playcom. I started my career working in a Mexican company, and you know, they were very different than in an international company like the others. So at some point, I felt the urgency to jump to a company, that was using the latest technology. So I started my journey of moving to an American company.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it was a new company here in Colima that was uh, related to the health system.
Yeah.
And then I moved to another smaller company uh, that, uh, and there I was working in a small project that was intended to track flights,
Yeah.
like public and private flights. And then I have some friends working on this company that at this time it was called Crowd Interactive, and then with what uh, later renamed to Magma Labs.
Yeah.
And at the time, yes, I noticed that there was a boom in the number of American companies moving to Colima, and yeah, I was trying to find the best one. And as I have some friends working Magma Lab at the time, Crowd Interactive, yeah, I decided to try my luck there. And yeah, it was a really good decision. And when I started working at Magma Labs, they already had some American clients. The most important of them was GoPro, the company that makes the camera.
The cameras, right?
Yeah, and I think at the time there was the need of a lot of developer. Like there was so much startup
Mm-hmm.
that were in the need of hiring people to help them like create their applications and web pages. So yeah, I really could notice that boom. There were really good times. Companies were trying to do everything they could to keep the personal. They have pretty nice perks. And the environment in the office was really good.
Yeah.
Like they even had like in McDonald's, we even had some spaces for like you wanted to take a nap, you could do that. Yeah, yeah, very.
The kind of
And
Google atmosphere, right? That a lot of
yeah,
we're looking for.
yeah, I think a lot of companies were trying to mimic that.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, it was yeah, were really good times. And yeah, we really felt like rock stars
Yeah,
at the time.
exactly. I think that was my reading, right? Like you guys were treated like you guys were treated like rockstars. But
Yeah.
what was your reading precisely, right? Why do you think that the American companies they start looking for talent overseas? Well, not overseas, right? But abroad, like in Mexico, for example.
Yeah, I think honestly, like the reason number one is that we are seen as like cheaper labor, but uh, high quality. And also, I think the second reason is because, well, at that time, there was I guess we can call it like a deficit of developers
Mhm.
with respect to the amount of companies that were in need of developers. So, yeah, they started looking outside of the United States.
Mhm.
And yeah, right now, Mexico and the United States have a free trade agreement, which makes it easier for American companies to hire Mexican developers. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's another one of the reasons.
And what kind of projects do you think were the most common for people to nearshore them, or companies, American companies to nearshore them?
Yeah, at the time, before the Silicon Valley Bank collapse,
Ah,
there were there were a lot of startups, as I already said, and yeah, they were trying to grow, to expand the engineering teams, and with all of this support from well, all of these loans that they were getting, they were able to grow very quickly. And yeah, I guess for them it was easier to look for a company like MetaLab, like staffing oriented kind of company, and tell them, you know what, I need a team of 5 people,
yeah.
and get all of them at once instead of trying to you know go one by one.
Looking for for talent is kind of hard as well, right? Like hiring.
Yes, that's correct, especially at the time where not everyone was busy. And yeah, not too many people was looking for work, and the ones that were looking for work were just trying to get a bigger salary at the position.
When did it feel like it developed clarity of status?
Sorry, I got this.
Or
You repeat that. Hear about it.
so let me rephrase that thing. Hmm. When did it feel like being a developer carried a real status? Like, I mean, when was the first time you were feeling like, okay, I'm a rock star here?
Yeah, when I think the first time was when I started noticing, the difference between, uh, when the time when I was working in a Mexican company, the conditions at the office were very different. Like I was no longer working like 10 hours a day. I was able to, spend most time with my family, and also there was a higher salary, better perks. I was getting, even little things like getting your breakfast for free.
Yeah.
Bit, yeah. So those small details and benefits that yeah make me feel like, oh man, I'm doing really
Benefits
good now.
perks, right? That's so good. Okay, cool. It was a time when value felt obvious. If you could build, you were indispensable. But markers don't stand still. Then the marker shifted toward mobile. Speed became the currency. If you didn't have an app, you didn't exist. The conversation moved from robustness to velocity. So, and then the mobile boom, right? What changed when the market moved toward mobile?
Well, the first thing is that new technologies appear
Mm-hmm.
and also new tendencies, like, in the case of web development, a lot of people starting starting to think about the mobile first approach,
Yeah.
like make a web page able to fit a mobile device, and then from there, go to the higher resolutions. And yeah, of course, a lot of companies were trying to get people to working on mobile. And actually, here at Batman, we even had a course on Android development. They paid that course to several people at Batman, including me.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh, take that. Do you take that course?
yeah, yeah, I took it. And I never really moved to mobile, but yeah, it was like in preparation in case we had a big client for like looking for mobile developers.
Then you.
But in reality, the projects we started to have were more oriented to iOS.
Okay.
So yeah, we never had a chance to work on an Android development project.
But still,
Uh,
the trend was mobile, either Android or iOS.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Of course, like a lot of people started having like phones more and more. So yeah, it was a trend. We also continue doing the normal work,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, it was like a spike in that mobile.
And I assume that clients were asking like, this has to be real quick, right? So they value technical debt or speed.
And I think uh, they value like good quality,
Uh-huh.
but sometimes you have to make hard decisions, right? So in order to get this feature first before your competitors,
Yeah.
you need to do some sacrifices. So you need to allow some technical debt in order to gain speed, with having in mind that later we will need to come back and address that tech debt.
Did you ever feel that some tension was emerging during this period? Speaking about technical debt.
Uh, yes, I think sometimes developers, we developers were trying to push back on some things, some technical debt, or like trying to, do something like write some technical specs just to better design a part of the feature. And we had some resistance to that because waiting at a tech spec takes some time.
Huh?
And yeah, the clients were like, no, we need to go fast. We don't have the time to create a document and review it. Yeah, we need to do it, yeah, as soon as possible.
What do you feel when you see that this technical debt is getting huge? I don't know, huge, but it's like getting big, right? And probably you're saying, okay, we need to value speed and delivery, but at the end it's gonna be a mess. So what is like your feeling? Don't you feel like overwhelmed or something?
Yeah, what is more like, man, I hope I'm not the one who's going to,
Yeah.
yeah, to has to work on this later. Uh, but yeah, actually, I had the bad luck to be that way. And yeah, sometimes,
That right.
yeah. So yeah, you have to, understand again everything. Sometimes you touch parts that you haven't touched in years. And usually when you address that kind of tech debt is because something happened that, you either have to modify that part or make something broke that is involved in that part of the code. You need to go back and, you know, untangle everything. And yeah, that's, uh, it's very hard to do. I don't think it's one of the things that developers enjoy the most.
Yeah, I know. But what about the product? I mean, in the business within this technical debt that you guys are acquiring, did at least the business was getting good? And I'm not speaking about mama. I'm speaking about the clients. Did they reach those goals by launching the app or deploying or rolling out the feature or something that you were guys working with?
Yeah, I think, I mean, at the end, uh, the project manager need to deliver something, right? So, in that regard, I think, yeah, they reached like a milestone and they were able to deliver. Uh, but in some cases, what happened is that I know it happens a lot in American companies. You know, they grow, 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 and then they sell.
Yeah.
And in some cases, when they after they sell the company, they ditch everything. And yeah, because sometimes when the company acquires another, they acquire in the buying.
Uh,
So I saw that many times. Maybe that's the reason why sometimes they don't care about tech debt, uh, and they care more about growth, so they can be able to sell at a good price.
yeah.
And then at the end they would use other tools that the other companies have. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Value didn't disappear. It shifted from depth to speed. Then came the pandemic, and urgency replaced planning. Businesses digitized out of necessity. Decisions were compressed. Timelines shortened. And then, what kind of clients appeared during the pandemic?
Uh, well, it I feel it didn't change now the kind of client,
Uh huh.
but I feel that they started getting more people into their teams. Uh, and also some clients like changed the original core of the business.
Okay.
For instance, we had a client that was very oriented to uh, how what's it called, like telepsychiatry.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
But
Uh,
after after the pandemic started, they started to make a switch into like normal kind of medical stuff. In order to contribute to controlling the pandemic.
yeah.
So yeah, they make that switch. Like, I guess they saw that as kind of an opportunity.
Okay. To provide
Uh,
like telehealth, right? Not
yeah,
just well now. Okay.
yeah, telepsychiatry and telehealth also. Yeah. And well, so yeah, I think we saw that right. So people needed more developers to because making that switch is also involves like releasing new features and basically more work and more work in more people.
Yeah. So the increase of getting people hired right by companies.
Yeah, that's right.
But do you think that was? I mean, I think I already know the answer. But do you think that was an emotional decision or a strategic decision?
Yeah, I think it was uh, a strategic decision.
Yeah.
Yeah, they saw the opportunity and yeah, they said, like, not to can.
But I mean the hiring, like starting thinking that people will be. Uh,
Ah, okay, okay, okay. Yeah, yeah. I think I mean they started seeing a trend
uh
at that moment. Like people were staying at home and buying things online instead of going to the stores. And I guess a lot of them thought that trend was going to continue
Like forever.
and yeah, forever. So they were like, okay, we need more people uh, to keep doing this, right?
Yeah. So, what mistakes do you see companies make when they digitalize out of urgency?
And yeah, probably that same thing, over hiring people and maybe not thinking that, you know, it was just a temporal thing. Like we are human beings, and at the end, we need to go out to get together.
Yeah, I remember
Yeah,
those days. I mean, after like 3 or 4 weeks, we were like, my family and I were like, we need to do something outside the house or something.
yeah, that's right. So maybe they fail to see that, and or this thing, and what are we going to do if what we think is going to happen doesn't happen? Like a plan B, or maybe their plan B was, just laid off people. I don't know.
And then something happened, right? Like after
Yeah,
1 year, 2 years and a half or so, the reset came, right?
yeah, that's right.
Rockstars are faded, but the market wasn't punishing talent, it was recalibrating value. Now we're in another wave. Every company wants something with AI. Some understand it, many don't. The hype feels familiar, but the implications may be deeper. So, and when after the pandemic, layoffs started like going around, right? When did you start noticing that developers were no longer treated like rock stars?
Yeah, I guess that after the pandemic, the companies started realizing that they overhired, so they're trying to find a ways to lay off people.
Uh-huh.
And then I think it was in 2023, I remember,
Trouble.
when this uh, big crisis happened with the Silicon Valley Bank,
Yeah.
and a lot of companies lost funding,
Mhm.
and suddenly there was a lot of layoffs, and then the market was saturated with developers looking for work.
Yeah.
And that's what I noticed. Like, oh,
And there was
yeah,
a shift in the dynamic, right? In the power
yeah,
dynamic.
yeah, that's correct. Like we were no longer, able to. Well, I never did it, but people who used to jump from one company to the other.
Mhm.
Yeah, I guess sometimes you didn't realize, like, oh man, yeah, I cannot jump to any other companies because they are not hiring.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And how did that affect consultancies like ours?
and yeah, that affected us because uh, one of the things we do is to offer, shopping services.
Mhm.
The companies come and they hire like an entire team, and now companies were not hiring as much as before. So, and also, because some of the companies lost the funding, some of them were bankrupt.
Yeah.
Yeah, we also had problems with that. Like we lost some clients, and yeah, we started having some issues there because I guess the company had too many developers that were on the bench,
Mhm.
and yeah, that I think that's the main way that it affected us.
Those were dark times. And I'm speaking like in past, right? Because now we're seeing a different situation, a different scenario, right?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
Yeah, but I was saying that this was kind of like the dark times, right? And I'm
Yeah,
speaking
definitely.
us, right? Because now with AI, we have kind of like a different scenario. Yeah.
Yeah, another kind of dark time. Uh,
Yeah, it was like
it's a mix. It's mixed because
kind of like
yeah,
great times. Would you say there?
yeah, yeah. It's I think the AI is a very good tool. It's changing the way we work, like making us more productive. But at the same time, we have all this noise, people saying that AI is gonna take your job.
Yeah,
You know,
pretty out there.
and yeah, and don't tell your kids to study computer programming because AI is going to do everything in the future.
Yeah.
So yeah, uh, and we
And
hear that a lot. Yeah,
what do you think? Do you think that we're facing another bubble, or is that a structural transformation?
yeah. I think it's yeah. I mean, the things are changing. Like software development is changing, but I have been using AI to do my work, and so far I don't think it's in a state that it can like completely replace a human.
Yeah.
It still needs some help from us. Like for instance, it lacks some other things that a human might have. For instance, like going some and applying some changes to the code. Like maybe a human will thinking, if I change this library that is being used across all of the code base, like what are going to be the consequences, right?
Yeah.
And the AI is very confident. Like, okay, I need to change this file. Let's do it. Yeah,
Like what?
yeah, and then that maybe what you're trying to do works, but it breaks other stuff, and you don't know it. Uh, you can ask the AI to fix it, but like you don't know if it's gonna break other stuff.
Yeah.
Or if it's going to deliver high quality. So, and I think so far an experienced developer needs to be checking the output that the AI produces and deciding, okay, this works, this doesn't work. But what I can say is that it's a very good tool. Like it had help with things that were cumbersome in the past. Like reading a new documentation. Like you can ask the AI, go read this page and tell me how I can do this
Yeah.
based on what you find.
Mhm.
And maybe for a human it will take hours, but for the AI it takes seconds.
And explain it
Yeah,
to me like if I were a 6 year old, right? I mean,
yeah, exactly. Explain me this code, or when working with legacy code, uh, what this class does, and
yeah.
where it's being used, and all of that.
And with this AI situation, what kind of clients are appearing now? Because let's face it, right? Everybody wants to have an AI readiness or going to the marketing and say like, we are AI powered something.
Uh, well, the problem with that is that big AI companies. I mean, I think like they see like an idea that a small company has, and then they do it like
Yeah.
built in their tools,
Hmm.
like agents and that stuff. And so I think that makes it difficult for companies to actually uh, you know have a startup based on AI. I know there are companies that are based on AI, but I also see that. I mean, how can you say like I have this idea and launch it, and then just what are you going to do? That you can't just wait to see if it works, or it's in the next version of a specific tool is going to be a built-in thing, something like that. But at least in my experience, like I haven't seen like a change in the client or in the project,
Yeah.
but I have seen a change in the way like the way we work. There's a lot of people experimenting with several ways to work with the AI, and there's people that can take you know a ticket in Jira and you know put that those requirements in a text file, and
On a prompt.
add some modify add some changes to make it easier for the AI to understand what is needed.
Hmm.
Then just add that as a context for prompt,
Yeah.
and and just see what happens. And some people just reviews what the AI has done and go on applications, or some people takes that as inspiration or doing the work themselves. So yeah, that's the kind of work I have seen in my experience personally.
Yeah. So do you think that we're moving from programmers to developers to rock stars now to architects? using AI? Like we are kind of everybody can be an expert, or do we need more context, or what?
No, what I think is, on the contrary, like you need experts
Yeah.
to take a look at what the AI is doing and,
Mm-hmm.
you know, uh, refine the prompts or whatever is needed or make the changes themselves. Because that's the thing, like the AI is not, uh, I mean, because of the way it works, it's not, it's not my personal opinion. It's not as good as a senior developer. Like, it's, because the way it works is that the AI, with all of the information it has, because it was trained with a lot of data, and with the context of the project, and
Mm-hmm.
also with the prompt you are providing,
Yeah.
it guesses the answer of, of that prompt, but it doesn't actually, reflect on it or think like a human will do.
Mm-hmm.
And that means that probably at some point it may not guess correctly, right?
Okay.
Which is known as hallucination.
Yeah.
So that's why we still need people that knows what they are doing
Okay.
in order to go see the result of what the AI produces and say, okay, this is good, this is not,
So
yeah, and so on.
yeah, last episode, I think it was last episode when Obi came to the show, and he said that a new, well, it wasn't a new, he didn't mention a new, like a core skill, that's a core soft skill that you may have, is what was it where he used intuition? No, it was like extremely logic or something like that, like I don't know, common sense or something like that. I remember that, right? So that was like a key value that software developer or an engineer, yeah, that was the word, an engineer need to have in these days of AI, right? So, but now as I listen to you, it is of course that what Obi says, but also expertise, because you can have all the common sense in the world and all the 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 logic behind your thinking or whatever. But if you don't have expertise, how will you know, right, that this is the right way? That's what I'm listening from you now. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah. Yeah, and also there are things like, you know, business logic and, judgment.
Okay.
That's something that so far the AI doesn't have, or, you know, uh, especially in the part of the business logic, like you will need to pass like a lot of context
Yeah.
to the AI so it knows, everything about the business.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It will be very expensive.
Okay. Okay, Carlos Cone. Thank you very much for being here. It's been really, really a pleasure, and you've told me a lot of things right now. I mean, you have given me a lot of clarity, and I hope that everybody is enjoying this episode as well. Thank you very much, man.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. See you. Bye bye. Markets will always move. Technologies evolve. Budgets fluctuate. Trends rise and fall. But the real differentiator isn't the tool of the moment. It's the ability to read the cycle, adapt without losing judgment, and build with intention. What endures is not hype, it's clarity. Market cycles constantly redefine value, but another dilemma emerges when technology moves too fast. How do you decide what to adopt and what to ignore? That's a conversation for our next episode of the Scaling Dilemma.